Um, my poetry, um, it's revolutionary. It's um, it's a little bit of love. I started with love, but then I got into a lot of. I started walking with the Hebrew Israelites. You know what I mean? I got into a lot of spirituality groups, and poetry. Poetry for me is it was, I don't know if I can say an outlet. Everybody says outlet. It was a way to, fit in. Yeah, it was a way to fit in. It was a way, it wasn't necessarily an outlet, it was a form of expression. Because like I didn't do sports and shit like that. Like I didn't do sports. I wasn't a jock. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I didn't have the dopest sneakers and shit like that. So like everybody expressed in different ways. So I needed something special. You know, everybody had something special. Like some people had little things that they already were just like great at, you know what I mean? And it makes them popular. So I didn't have like the cliche thing. So poetry gave me, it gave me my own thing, right? It gave me my own special little thing. And so that's kind of what like, you know, that's what brings you into the in crowd, you know what I mean? But like, I was getting so much information, like there was so much information that I was discovering, you know, just doing my own research on just being black, like black history, like, you know, because they only go so far in the schools, right? They only go Martin, maybe Malcolm, you know what I'm saying? They give you a little bit of Harriet, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of Underground Railroad, but they don't go too far, so.
How we entertain the very same that oppressed it. We only 6 generations off the plantation. 158 years from the legally racist. Now we asking and begging to breathe like we pregnant. Water broke because that levee won't hold. Now we wandering souls, skin black like the coal, and they tell us just let it go.
When I came of age and went to the military, I was still kind of like, that's when I was able to kind of independently like dive into shit like Nostradamus and all this, just conspiracy theories and all that. And then, you know, and then I just kind of like, you know, that just leads you down like a rabbit hole of information. And then you just start looking for things. Like you just ask more questions. And the more questions I asked, the more I got led to like different information. So I came in with the Hebrew Israelites through the Gathering of Christ Church. Brother Rakah, that was the first time I seen, that was like the modern day Malcolm X for me. Like that was the first time I seen a brother like go back and forth with white people.
But what? But the will of him that sent me. Did he send himself? I got some reading. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You have some reading to do. See, that's that mess they teaching you in Catholicism, which is pagan worship, to have you worship Zeus and Jupiter.
About religion and history and not lose and not stumble. You know, the only other time I seen that was just watching clips of Malcolm. And that amazed me, like, cause he was just so poised, no matter how they tried to come with their agendas and their questions or sarcasm, you know, he just maintained his poise and his sharpness, and his information was sharp. It was on point. So, you know what I mean? That just really impressed me. And I was like, I want to be able to be like that poised in whatever I do. If I could be that poised as an MC, that poised as a rapper or a poet or whatever it is I do with these words, if I could be that poised, that was the bar for me, right? But But then, you know, you just go down this rabbit hole of Black history and conspiracy and theories and stuff like that. And then you run into John Henrik Clarke, Dr. Ben Yochanan, and they let you know, like, to know your history, you have to know your enemy's history. So I started going into that and being in the Israelite camp, Hebrew Israelite camp, like, you know, we didn't watch TV and shit like that. We didn't, you know, we was really in our studies, really trying to make up for all the years that we were distracted by television, fashion, and music and entertainment. So we just dove in. That was the hardest I ever studied in my life. And I had so much information. So when I kind of separated from that group, from that walk of life, I couldn't figure out what to do with the information. I was like, I can't just, you know, because even the Bible says, like, you know, you give a babe milk, not strong meat, unless they choke. So I learned that from that walk, and I'm like, well, I can't just shove all this information down the culture's throat because they're not going to receive it like that. So how do I make this strong meat like milk? Poetry and music allows me to be able to fit 400 years of information into 3 minutes. And so that was the purpose of poetry for me. Like it went beyond what I started writing like poems for, which was like loving to get girls. But now it had like more of a profound purpose. So that's where you get the poems like Break Bread, American Scheme. You know, my son says when he grows up, he wants to be like LeBron, not Mike. But I wonder if a woman who's white will tell him just to shut up and dribble, like it's got to be the only place in the world where you die over Skittles. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where you get those poems, because like it's trying to give you like this strong information, but in a tangible way, in a way that you can really digest it.
See, the patriots will come when they find out about the knowledge that we possess. See, my tribe see stars without your scholar telescopes. Though you can only see as far as your ignorance boasts, in a nation united, divided stands each coast. See, death brings us together. Like funerals.
And so like that's what like fuels my poetry, like this revolutionary spirit, the pain, the tears, the rage, you know, all of that. Just, you know, you wanna, you know, you're trying to figure out how you can help your ancestors return the favor, or, you know, even the score, you know what I mean? But you realize like you by yourself, like people ain't really fighting like that over no racism and stuff like that. Like we're still being affected, we're still getting abused and shot down and followed, and, you know, but it just seems like we're just naturally peaceful, and then but slightly domesticated too. So we're slightly numb. And so my poetry, like, I wanted to wake up that spirit again. You get what I'm saying? Like I wanted to wake up like the ancestors or the ancestral spirit in you. Like I wanted to, you know, I wanted to ignite this fire, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I have a fire burning inside me, and that's what I put on stage. That's definitely what I put on stage, and I try to bring to the stage and try to leave it on the stage or leave it with the crowd. That fire burning, it's like I don't want those who oppose our culture to think that the fire is burnt out, because it's not. I don't want them to think that our ancestors are dead and there's no more fight left in us. So that's what I represent on that stage, that fire. You know what I mean? In Ifa, I was crowned with Oya, which represents thunder or the lightning, hurricanes, you know, the wind, the whirlwind, right? And then at my feet, Shango, so that's fire, right? So like I have this fire burning, I have this whirlwind of rage, but righteous rage for the culture. So it comes from like oppression. It comes from just having slavery like shoved down your throat constantly in movies and in depictions. You know what I mean? Unwarranted. Like they keep like the slave plays on repeat. They just looping the beatings. Hits for the masses, hits for the masses. Just for the record, I reckon we've been had, run amok. Oh, you know the speech. So it's like that. Like they continue to shove the narrative of slavery down our throats. So my response to that is my poetry. That's how I, have how I shove it back in their throat. You know what I mean? So that's what I hope to put on that stage. So when I get shows like September 14th with Poetically Speaking, that's what I'm gonna bring to that stage. I'm gonna bring the ancestors with me. I'm gonna bring that righteous rage with me, to try to just give the culture some of that fire back. You know what I mean? And remind the others that it's still burning. And maybe they can carry that to their children. They can carry that into their homes. They can carry that into their prayers, into their day-to-day walk. You know what I mean? So that's why I do the poetry. That's what it's all for. So September 14th, that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're buying tickets to. There's many artists that are gonna touch that stage that make me nervous with the pen. You know what I mean? For example, Obi West. I can't stand him. I don't like him at all because I like him so much, because I love his poetry so much that I hate it. He's so talented. You know what I mean? So it's like everything that I just said just goes to shit when he gets on the stage. You understand what I'm saying? Ebony Stewart, the way she relates to the people on stage, the way she connects the stage and the people in the crowd for what she's doing, it makes me so jealous. And then you have Yogi Joan, he's a warlock. It's that, you know what I mean? Yoga and poetry, the way he mixes those vibrations, those frequencies is amazing, right? And I mean, the lineup is just a scary lineup. Coming from the artist perspective, it's a scary lineup because their skill set is unmatched. So, to be on the stage with them, I'm very nervous. I still got to memorize some new pieces. I got to memorize my poetry because they're making me nervous because I got to get on stage with these people. So I still got some poems to learn to bring you some new stuff. No, you good. I still got some stuff to learn. You know what I'm saying? I still got poems to memorize, So, yeah, it's gonna be a great show. I don't think this is a show like you really want to miss. Like, there's not, you can count on, you can't count on your hand how many times you've seen these poets in the same room, same stage, same date, same event. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna see this like multiple times a year. So to miss this show, if being a poetry lover, or if you wanted to discover and see what poetry was all about, to miss this show is diabolical to yourself. It's nasty work. You should get a ticket because you're gonna see poetry at its highest form. Because if I'm nervous, nervous for poets, it just makes us go harder. So, once this is over, I gotta go memorize some new poems. I wrote a lot of stuff, so I just want to be able to do the culture justice. You know what I'm saying? And then the purpose of the event, the cause we're doing it for, makes it that much more that much more important to us as poets and performers because we love a purpose. We don't want to just be out here just doing anything because it gets tiring. It's heavy. You know what I mean? Like we're human. Like we're real people. You know, we're still down to earth. We're still tapped in touch with the culture. So we, you know, life be life and still for us. Just because we're poets don't mean like we live a different life. We're just uncles and nieces and nephews and sisters and brothers and some of us is grandfathers. We getting up in our age. You know what I mean? Some of, you know, so still husbands and wives and stuff like that. So we still have like real life things going on. We still have to manage our life. So it means everything every time someone buys a ticket and gets to the show. It means everything to see our faces in there and just experiencing what we have to give you. So we don't want to miss you. We want to see you. September 14th. And we're going to speak to you poetically. And not just cause, but for a cause, and for a purpose. Passion, poetry, and purpose. That's what I do. I'll see y'all soon.